How's it going? I'm Jared Gillis. Today we're looking at tips for drain valves so they work well, operate smooth, and last longer. That's the goal. We're even going to be replacing a valve, but hopefully with these tips, it'll keep you from ever having to replace a valve on your RV and keeping them working well. So let's not waste any time. Let's get right into it. So now to start off, the first couple of tips I have for you are for keeping the valve operating as smooth as it possibly can. This one's starting to stick just a little bit, but it's not bad. But this isn't the one that I deal with the most for the first problem that a lot of RVers deal with. And the problem is having this shaft or the cable start to stick, rust up, get dirty, and it makes it very difficult to operate the valve. So the first tip is keeping that lubricated. Now, it's also equally important what you're lubricating it with. You don't want to use something like WD-40 that's going to attract dirt and dust and all that junk put into there. That's the last thing we want to do. I use something like this. This is a slide out silicone lubricant because it's going to be all the things that we're looking for. It lubricates, it's waterproof, anti-corrosion, it's quick drying, and it's not going to attract the dirt and the dust. That's really important for what we're doing here. And this is really simple. I just take this slide out lube, I pull the valve out, squirt some of this on, push the handle in, let some of that lube work its way in, pull it out and continue that process. I'm gonna be flushing a lot of that dirt and grime that's in there. I want that to be flushed out. And then this lubricant goes on wet, but it's going to dry, so it's not gonna have that dirt and dust collecting because of the lubricant. Now I have to lubricate this one a little bit more because it's outside. Our other two valves are inside the bay, so they're not as exposed to the dirt and the dust and the weather that this one is, but I'll still lubricate those inside the bay the same way that I do this one. This one's also just a little bit harder to operate because of the way that the cable's laid out. It's really not that far of a distance to the valve, and this is in a pretty tight loop to make that connection. So while tip one is lubricating and flushing that dirt out of there, tip number two, if you have a valve that's just typically hard to operate, check to see what that cable's like on the inside. Is there something that you can straighten out the amount of curves that it has? The less tight of a turn that that cable needs to make and the less turns that it needs to make, the smoother it's going to be able to operate. Okay, now let's move on to our next tip, and that's actually lubricating the seal of the valve itself, which can be difficult at times depending on where that valve is, but I have a tip for that, obviously. Now, the first and easiest way to lubricate those seals on the valves is just to use a product that's meant for it. This is the Thetford Drain Valve Lubricant. This is something that you can pour down those drains to be able to get to those valves to lubricate it. So there's two different ways that you can use it. You can use it normally, putting it down there whenever you're going to be using your tanks, but you could also, I think probably the more popular way to use it is to use it on a drive day. So you take a fifth of this, you pour it down your sink, your toilet, and you mix in 4 gallons of water, and then when you drive, it's going to be sloshing around. So your tanks are going to be emptied first, you're putting this solution in there, and you're hoping that it's sloshing around enough to be able to lubricate that seal to be able to get all over it. Then when you get where you're going, you want to open and close that valve quickly so that way it can get that lubricant on both sides of that seal. Now, this is something that you're probably going to be using when your valve is starting to stick and you want to get it lubricated, which is a great time to do that. I would do that and the shaft that we were talking about, that cable, lubricating that and getting that flushed out. That way you're tackling it both sides at the same time. But I could also see at the beginning of the season lubricating that valve seal and at the end just before you put it into storage. So not bad times to be able to use something like this. I am going to put links down in the description to everything that we're talking about today. eTrailer is the sponsor of today's video, and they carry so many different things, whether you need this treatment, valve replacement, cables, handles, all those kind of things are at eTrailer. They are a great resource for RVers. So let's move on to our next tip, which is actually more of a hack of being able to lubricate these valves in a more pinpoint way. Okay, now this is a little hack that I haven't tried before, but we're going to try it on this valve because I'm going to be replacing this valve. So if I don't like it, it's not really a big deal, and I'll explain why I'm replacing this valve in a minute. But all we're going to do is we're going to create an access point on this valve to be able to squirt lubricant on both sides of this blade to be able to lubricate this entire valve. Now, it's not really necessary on this end one because we can just take this off, clean it up, and lubricate it with something like this. No problem at all. We have complete and full access. But if you have a valve that's just up the line a little bit and around the corner, you would never have the ability to access the actual valve without taking a whole lot more things apart. So this is where you have access to the valve outside, but it's too far up the line in order to use something like this. So all we're gonna do is we're gonna take a drill bit and drill into the housing where the blade retracts to, and then we can cap it off with a screw and then pull it when we want to lubricate it. So you can see that it's working pretty good. Just a couple of words of caution. You want to be careful where you're drilling that hole and putting that screw. You don't want to put it in a place that's going to inhibit the way that the valve is actually operating. There's no fluid that goes into this portion of it, so you're not going to have any risks of leaks or anything like that. But the second thing that I think is more important is what are you lubricating this with? Because in these sprays, it's hard to get something that's not petroleum based. So this is a silicone lubricant, a lot like the slide out lubricants that we were talking about earlier, but a lot of these still will have petroleum distillates still in there. I'm sure I'm saying that wrong, but you get the picture. I will put a link down in the description to one that claims that it doesn't have any petroleum products at all. This one is pretty close. It even says that you can use it on some of the plastic, wood, rubber, vinyl, and that's the key. The petroleum products will often negatively affect the rubber seals that are in there, and you don't want to do that at all. So that's where it comes in a little tricky, that you want to make sure that you get a good lubricant that's going to work well and not mess up that seal, cause it to expand. Now, this next tip is something that I think everybody that RVs should have on their RV, and it's a valve right here at the end. And this is the twist on valve. This is so easy to put on. You don't even have to do a modification. You just take the cap off, put this valve in its place, and you have a valve at the end. You can put your cap on the end here, which we always get a question about where we get this cap. And because of the handle that's really large on here, we got it from E-Trailer. And it has the place that you can put a garden hose if you needed to drain that way. So it's a great little cap to have on hand. But sometimes when I'm using this twist on valve and I go to remove the cap, it just wants to twist the valve, which isn't a huge deal. You just grab it, twist off the cap, and you're good to go. But this valve also sticks out past the edge of the RV. And with a glue-on valve, I think I can get it pushed under or at least flush with the edge of the RV, which I would prefer. I have a handful of reasons why I think this valve here at the end is extremely helpful, but let's look at the options of having a glue-on version here. The first option we have is to cut the nubs off of the end of that fitting, and once we clean that up, if you have a valve that can go on a 3-inch pipe, you could glue that on. The second option is you can cut off that fitting entirely and use a reaming tool that is guided by that inside diameter of the 3-inch pipe, and you can drill out that fitting. I chose this direction because there's quite a bit of plumbing that I'd have to do to replace that fitting. And number two, this saved me even more room by having the valve that's going to fit into this fitting. It pushed it back just that little bit further. Now, with these three options, twist on obviously being the easiest, and then the two glue-on options, why do I think it's so important to have a valve here at the end? And the answer is pretty simple. You gain 3 or 4 functions that you don't have when you don't have a valve here. So number one is the most obvious. It's going to help you not have any mistakes and make it cleaner when you're connecting up. So when you pull this cap off, when you have this valve here, you have that visual look. You can see that valve is closed. If one of the other valves are open, when you take this cap off, you're not going to be left with a surprise. Or if there's residual water in there, it's going to be cleaner when you take this cap off because this valve is stopping that water from getting here. That one's pretty obvious. The next one is when you need to troubleshoot or problem solve some stuff. Maybe you have a valve that's starting to stick and those other solutions that we talked about earlier didn't work. It's not a lubrication issue. There's something stuck inside of that valve. Well, with this one at the end here, you can actually stop the water here so that if that valve's not closing all the way in there, you're able to do a tank treatment on there, hopefully break down whatever's inside and blocking that valve from being able to close. You can do that tank treatment to where it's going to break that down, and then you can open this and let that flush out. It's a lot easier to try that than to take the entire valve apart. That's for sure. Now, the second part of that tip, if you think you're trying to dislodge something inside of that valve that's upstream of this one, as that water is rushing through, you can try and actuate that valve while it's actually draining out. So if you've already lubricated it, lubricated the seal, done everything you can to make sure that that's not the problem, and you're trying to clear what's in there, having the water stopped here allows that to be able to rush past the other valve, and hopefully you can clear it without having to take it apart again. So kind of a two-step process there to try and clean the valve on the inside if you think things are getting lodged from that other valve that's upstream. Now, the third function that we gained from having this here, because both of our gray water tanks, our galley and our bathroom gray tank, are on the same level, we're able to combine those when we're out there boondocking, because sometimes one tank will get full before the other, and with this, we're able to equalize between the two of them, so that way we're not overfilling one and have room in the other. So that doesn't work in every RV situation, but it's definitely helped us in ours. Now, the last function that you gain by having a valve here is really only when you have the twist on valve, is you're able to take that off, put this on in front of it. And when you have this valve closed, you're able to back flush and fill your tanks on the inside if you needed to. I've seen this done before to be able to clear clogs or anything like that going to the black tank. This setup is basically this, but you don't have to carry this whole thing. You basically gain it by having this on the end and then just carrying this. So one more function and problem solving that you can have by having a valve here at the end. But I like having the one that's glued on here. I think it's going to be a great addition, and we definitely saved that space so it's not sticking out so far. But I hope some of this information is able to help you out, whether you need to add a valve at the end for your RV, or you can help problem solve some things in the future if you have a valve sticking, a cable sticking, or something like that. Hopefully you know which direction to look and what you can tackle. Or it's just maintenance that you can do to make sure that your stuff and equipment is going to last as long as it possibly can with no issues. So anyways, I think that's going to do it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Hope that it helped you out in some ways. So as always, if we don't see you on the road, hopefully we will see you next video. Take care.